What's up, guys? My name is Joe and we are back with another episode of British Guy Reacts, and we're going to be reacting to some more March Madness content. Previously, we looked at like the best plays ever in March Madness. This time, we're going to find out what is March Madness. A couple of you guys let me know in the comments. It's kind of comparable to like an FA Cup in the UK. And you guys did give me a lot of info, but I like to learn from videos, you know, so we're going to watch this video by Zealand. If you've not checked this guy out before, go check out his YouTube channel. Yeah, and we're going to find out what it's all about. If you're new around here, subscribe to the channel, give the video a like, comment down below. Let's get into it.
March Madness takes over the U.S. sports cycle every year, but I have a lot of people ask me what exactly it is, and so
that's what I'm asking.
What I'm going to explain.
What it
is, how it's put together, and why it's so dang captivating, so that maybe March Madness, which is going on right now, is something that you can pay attention to, because who doesn't want more fun sporting events in their life? March Madness is just a catchy name. What you actually have in March Madness is a college basketball tournament. What I'm going to set off to one side is why college sports are so important in the United States. Just work under the assumption that they are for their own unique reasons, because professional sports, with the exception of baseball, arrived in the United States late, which means college sports were the main attraction. The biggest American football stadiums are all for college sports, and tens and tens and tens of millions of people will watch this college basketball tournament, and 100 million brackets will be filled out for this college basketball.
I'm going to do one of these brackets. You guys are telling me to do this as well. I have no idea, though, so I'm just going to go based on luck, which I guess it doesn't matter anyway, because no one ever wins it, right? That's what you guys were saying. But we'll try it. We'll try our luck.
Basketball tournament. The only mistake you can make here is assuming that they're like a reserves tournament. It's more similar to the FA Cup if you just don't allow the Premier League teams to participate. It has the tenure, and it has that kind of captivating charm of the underdog, the Cinderella story that all of the United States is looking for. Players are made in singular moments in this tournament that will last them a lifetime, and American sports fans will remember for the rest of their lives. So let's start at the very beginning. College basketball is about 350 teams at the
What? Jesus. Is that the same with the American football college teams? That's a lot. Jesus. Look at the East as well. The East has a lot of teams.
Top level. And these are actual four-year institutions that kids like me, you, anybody else would go to school. All 350 of these are sorted into 32 conferences. Think of them as leagues, where you have La Liga, you've got the Premier League, you have in the United States the ACC, the
Speaking my language, this guy,
which covers teams on the East Coast, or the Big Ten, which is by and large a Midwestern conference, as you can see, or the Big 12, which is the South Central Conference, or the SEC, the Southeastern Conference, which takes up the Southeast. They're all loosely regional and allow these colleges to play against each other. There are 6 conferences, some of which I've already named, that are considered power conferences, and that
question, does the Big 12 in basketball only have 12 teams, or is it different? Does the Big 10 only have 10 teams, or is it different like American football? Let me know.
It's where the majority of the big teams will play in. There's then a next tier of conferences where you have your mid-majors, and then about half the conferences where you have colleges and universities of just a few thousand kids and less resources to invest in the team. Those are the small majors. We put those at the bottom of this basketball pyramid. Each team is composed of 15 players, and they are only allowed to attend school for 4 years. There are various little rules, such as injury exemption, that allow them to play for an extra year or 2, but by and large, they'll be on the team for 4 years as freshmen, sophomores, juniors, or seniors. And if you watch March Madness, if you watch college basketball, you'll hear players referred to as, oh, he's an incredible freshman, or what an experienced senior. These are 18 to 22-year-old kids, depending on what that age is. So freshman's 18 to 19, sophomore 19 to 20, and you can work out the rest. Each one of these teams plays through a 4-month season. The first 2 months, you're playing against teams from other conferences, from other leagues. So you'll have things like the Big Ten ACC Challenge, where a Big Ten school plays an ACC school, and there's pride on the line and those sorts of things. This starts in November. And if we have a timeline here, by the time you get to January, you now enter your conference play. And that means you're playing within your league for the rest of the season. If we take the ACC, for example.
Oh, so I've already missed most of the college basketball season. Great. I thought March Madness was like the start of it. Damn. Oh well, we move.
You play
we move.
20 conference games, so you can see the conference record of each of the teams in the ACC this year. Duke went 16-4, NC State went 4-16, and if you finish at the top of your conference, congratulations, you've won the regular season conference title, and that is one trophy you get to keep. But we're not done. This league table is used as seeding for a conference tournament. We'll just keep using the ACC as an example, but this is happening in different conferences of different sizes between 8 and 16 teams all around the country. This is the full bracket for the ACC Men's Basketball Championship. My school, Virginia, finished as the 6th best team, and so we got to wait a game before Louisville and Georgia Tech found out who won. You see how you figure out how to make a tournament no matter how many teams you have? You just add these extra play-in games and then bracket it up, and off you go. You then play this tournament usually at a location. For the ACC, it's in Brooklyn. So you go up to Brooklyn, you get all the teams together, you play on Tuesday, then Wednesday, then Thursday, then Friday, then Saturday. And at the end of it, one team has won the ACC Tournament Championship.
Are those games full length? That's intense. Just back-to-back games. Surely they shorten the games down a bit. I know it's only 2 halves in college basketball, but I'm not sure what the length is. Another question for you guys down in the comments. Why does the college football season and college basketball season run alongside each other? Surely it'd be better for fans and attendances at games to kind of put them at different times of the year. Basketball could be played anytime, right? It's an indoor sport. And I also thought like some players play college basketball and college football. Let me know. Let me know what's going on there.
This is more important than the regular season title because this carries an automatic bid to the NCAA Tournament. That is March Madness. It is 68 of the best, most rewarded college basketball teams from around the country. They get put into one giant tournament. And you might have figured out at this point that out of all the 32 conferences, there is one automatic bid for each conference. That means the winner of the ACC is automatically in the tournament, but so is the winner of the America East, which you won't hear me say anything about, but Vermont went on to win their tournament title after having an outstanding conference season, as you can see. And that means Vermont, which you've probably never thought about in your life, but is a state and a school, is headed to the NCAA tournament, even though I've not watched them all year. Maybe a conference like the Big Sky out west. Montana State had a great year. They ended up actually winning the tournament as well, defended their regular season title. They're going to March Madness. And in these smaller conferences, that is the drama, because it is very rare from a lot of these conferences to have what you would call a multi-bid league. Because if there's 68 teams in the tournament and only 32 conferences, the rest of the teams in the tournament are decided by what is called the selection committee. And this gets incredibly controversial.
I was going to say
the next best 36 teams in the country to go. Can you imagine?
It's the same as college football in a way, right? You got these people just choosing based off what they think are the best teams. It's always going to be controversial when it's like subjective rather than objective. There's no way to avoid controversy.
A lot of these, as you probably figured out, would come from a conference like the ACC, one of the power conferences, of which there is also the Big 12, which is that South Central.
Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Central Conference, the Big East, which is made up of kind of northeastern schools, the Big 10, which we've already discussed, the SEC. There's also the West Coast's Pac-12, and there's a few other conferences that will get a couple of teams in. The American Athletic Conference is one of those in that mid-major of the pyramid. If a team has a good year and doesn't win the tournament, they can get in too. Or the Mountain West, they also could do that too. Or the West Coast Conference, the WCC, they actually got 3 teams in this year. The selection committee sits down on a day called Selection Sunday, and they release the bracket. And the bracket is a beast.
You guys love doing things on a Sunday. Why always a Sunday? I thought this with the Super Bowl. Why is it? I know Super Bowl Sunday, but why a Sunday? Surely Saturday is better. You can watch the game on Saturday. Party, get drunk, hangover doesn't matter because you've got Sunday to recover. What are you guys going to do tomorrow for work, you know? What are you going to do Monday morning when you're hungover? Tough.
And they release
Super Bowl Saturday.
And the bracket is a beast. I'm going to create a new one on ESPN just so that you can see a visualization. It's broken into 4 different parts. But basically the way the selection committee does it is they make a list of 1 through 68. This includes all of the people that have to be in the tournament. So all the people from the small conferences are going, 68 up. And then you slot in the teams that you feel like deserve to be in that didn't win their conference. Once you've slotted them in 1 through 68, they then break out into 4 groups seeded 1 through 16. So the 4 best teams become the 4 1 seeds. The next 4 teams become the 4 2 seeds. The next 4 teams become the 3 seeds, and so on until you get to 16. And then the bracket appears. The matchups are set by that order of 1 through 68. The favorites are there, and the brackets are nice and fun and interactive, so I can just click on all this fun stuff and who I think is going to win, and off we go. Not actually. I have already made my bracket, though. It was very...
So, sorry to keep pausing, guys, but that's what we do here. It's a reaction video, off of my own opinion, right? This is where I'd say it's a bit dissimilar to the FA Cup. Now, we don't seed any of our football tournaments, apart from the Champions League has a slight one in the group stages, and the FA Cup, some teams do enter the tournament later, like the Premier League teams, because the FA Cup has like 5 rounds before it even gets to like the actual pros. So even like some semi-pro teams can end up playing a Premier League team in the FA Cup. But once everyone's into the tournament, there's no seeding. So you could get like Manchester United playing Chelsea in like round 3 of the tournament. Meanwhile, you've still got 2 like bad teams playing each other, which means these lower teams can keep going further and further because they're not facing off against the best teams right away. It's luck of the draw. We literally pick names out of a hat. Manchester United are going to be playing, Manchester City, shock. You know what I mean? So it's a bit different in that manner. We don't have any seeding. But I guess this has the benefit of like, you could get some massive upsets straight away, I guess.
Stuff and who I think is going to win, and off we go. Not actually. I have already made my bracket, though. It was very fun on stream.
I've really filled out the bracket by which
maybe this could be my first stream, you know?
Yeah, true. Blue Jays or Jayhawks? I have no idea. I do
get
think
you guys
a Hawkeye's
involved.
got a Jackrabbit beat. Badger cooks a
Let me know down below.
Cyclone could cook a Badger,
if you want me to
too.
do a stream.
The Trojan beats the Tiger. Here, controversial take. If you're a really intuitive person, you would have realized that brackets can only work out of 64, and I keep saying 68. That's because they hold what is called the first 4. It's the first 4 games on Tuesday and Wednesday before the tournament really starts on Thursday, and then Friday and Saturday and Sunday, and you get the idea. Tuesday and Wednesday, you have 4 play-in games. So there'll be 2 on Tuesday and then 2 on Wednesday. Now, the play-in games are interesting. They are the 4 worst teams in the tournament because you'll notice that 2 of the 16 seeds are contested. This is Wright State against Bryant. This is Texas Southern against Texas Corpus Christi. Those are all 4 conference winners from very small conferences. They have to play each other for the right to even get into the tournament. The other 4 teams that go to the first 4 are actually the last 4 at-large teams. That's the phrase that's used to refer to the teams that didn't win their conference but got in anyways. So the last 4 at-large teams in this case would be playing for a spot as an 11 seed, which would be Rutgers and Indiana, or the last 2 teams in the tournament who are playing for a 12 seed, which there's only 16 seeds in each side. So these are the last 2 teams the committee judged to deserve to be here. That would be Wyoming and Indiana. And so they'll go through their different play-ins, and then on Thursday, it all kicks off. And this is the reason that this is so iconic in the United States. The first tournament was held in 1939, and for the last 36 years, it's been expanded up to 64. It expanded incrementally from 1939, but it's been around for over 80 years as a staple of the U.S. Worth mentioning that Wyoming and Indiana, who we both mentioned, won national titles in the first 5 years that it existed, so history. On that Thursday and then on that Friday, every single one of the teams that you see in this bracket will play 16 games a day, starting at 12 and ending well past midnight. Quite simply,
16 games a day. How do you keep up with that tournament? That's insane.
As an American, one of the greatest pair of sporting days of the year, because every single game is the last game of the season for someone. Every single one. Everyone. And the drama that creates, especially when you only have 4 years on these teams, and especially if you're a senior, this is the last college basketball game you're going to play. If you lose, your entire career is over. Most of these guys don't make the NBA. Some of them go play overseas. They play in the developmental leagues in the US, but it's over. What's that in the brackets? The brackets are very, very fun to fill out. Unfortunately, at the time you're watching this video, the brackets have all already been filled out. That's so you know I'm not promoting some sort of bracket thing. But since I'm filming this video before you can see how this would become very fun. And then when you hit a great upset, you say, well, I think Colgate's going to beat Wisconsin. And when it hits, you get an all-time rush. Personally, I always end up in like 3 to 4 different bracket groups, and you just sit there and hold your bracket on those first couple of days hoping it doesn't explode. There's never been a perfect bracket though, and there probably never will be, at least unless somebody figures out a way to computer generate every single iteration of the bracket. But I think it's like a 9 quintillion to 1 chance or something. So I hate math. But this is the last section of why it takes over the United States so much, and it's because the bracket, and it's because it can completely dominate the sports cycle. It is just so darn interesting to watch this sort of dramatic stuff happen on a large scale. The buzzer beaters and those sorts of things, which you can think of as the last second winners, and everything changes and those heroes emerge. The huge upsets. There was a 13 seed that made the final 4 teams of the whole tournament at one point, and people are losing their mind. There always seems to be a team that wins a couple games that nobody sees coming because they have a special player or two that we don't know about until these next couple of days. But that is March Madness. And then over the course of the next 3 weekends, it will end, and we will crown a national championship for college basketball. And in November, a whole process is going to start on over again. And I, for one, am looking forward to it, because Virginia missed the tournament this year. If you're thinking about watching March Madness now, I highly encourage it. It's going on right now as you're watching this video, at least if you're watching it in the...
So we are going to check out March Madness when it's coming up. We'll watch out some highlights. I'm not sure what's going to happen, whether I will be able to post highlight reactions. Hopefully, fingers crossed we can. I'm going to need a team to support. Maybe I choose a few teams, you know, maybe like a top seed, a middle of the pack, and an underdog team. Maybe that's what we do. Or we could do 4 teams, because there's 4 different, there's like 4 lots of 16, right? Maybe we choose 1 in each one and kind of do like a top seed, a middle, 2 middle ones, and an underdog. Something like that. But I'm going to need some help from you guys, because that's a lot of teams. I can't like research all those teams before March, but we can work something out there. We can work something out. Let's see.
2.5 weeks that it came out.
Maybe we just
Seriously,
randomly
if you're watching
pick
it the first 2 days, there's probably a game on right now, or 3, that you could be watching. Even if you don't understand basketball, at least now you know the premise. If you do understand basketball, skip the next 2 minutes. If you don't, stick around. Okay, you ready?
I do understand basketball, but we're going to stick around anyway.
The premise of basketball is to put the ball...
Okay, maybe not. Let's give him 10 more seconds.
The fouls are similar to soccer/football, where hitting somebody is a foul. Who initiates the contact?
Nah, we're done. I know this. Guys, this might not have been the most entertaining video for you, but it was educational for me. Before we went into March Madness, I needed to understand the tournament format. Very important, so I'm not completely oblivious as to what I'm watching. I do know the rules of basketball, though. I'm not a complete dummy with this like I was with American football or NHL or baseball. Basketball's one I've got a bit of base knowledge on. So this video, I enjoyed it. I hope you guys still enjoyed it. If you did, give the video a like, comment down below, subscribe to the channel while you're at it. And yeah, let me know if you want me to do a stream where I fill out a bracket. Maybe we do a random generator to pick a few teams that I can support along the way. Or maybe I can pick one, we randomly generate ones. Give me some ideas, you know. I'll see you for the next one, guys. Take it easy. Peace.